This is Huimin Road in Shanghai. It used to be very lively here, but now the buildings are deserted and the streets are empty. A netizen said, "When I went to Shanghai 10 years ago, there were a lot of people and you had to queue up to cross the road. Now it's really a world of difference. I really can't understand it. There are very few people in the village and I don't expect there are so few people in Shanghai either. Where do all the people go?" Guess what kind of shopping mall this is? It's completely empty, except for a few restaurants that are still open. It's almost empty and deserted. In recent times, netizens on Chinese social platforms have pointed out that the number of people in shopping malls and on the streets has obviously decreased, and everywhere is deserted. Only in hospitals are there many people, and many crematoriums are packed with people. Some netizens said that it felt like many people around them had died, including many young people. People in mainland China believe that the authorities' forced vaccination has led to the deaths of a large number of young and middle-aged people, among which the sudden death of people born in the 1980s has become the norm. Let's talk about related topics today. But before we do, we would like to invite you to subscribe. Your support is our greatest motivation and allows us to bring you more valuable content. Now, moving on. Around the Chinese New Year, a new wave of pandemics broke out in many places, and many families were infected. The CCP media and the CDC claim that the country is still in the seasonal influenza virus epidemic period. But many people believe that this is the result of a new wave of coronavirus outbreak. Mr. Soon, a Beijing resident, told overseas Chinese media, "The pandemic has been quite serious recently, with many people catching colds. There are still many people wearing masks around. The symptoms are coughing and so on, and recovery is slow. Some people say it's the new coronavirus. One of my classmates died of cardiac arrest with no underlying disease. We suspect it's related to the virus. My mother-in-law also passed away recently." Mr. Zhang, a resident of Baoding City, Hebei Province, said, "The symptoms of a cold now are the same as those of a positive test during the pandemic. When we caught a cold in the past, we had a headache, a fever, or a runny nose. Now it's not like that, just body aches. My wife just recovered from her cold. But many people died from pneumonia caused by the cold, and the funeral homes are very busy now." Zhang Liang, a pseudonym, a doctor from Jiangsu, revealed that many people in their 30s and 40s now die suddenly from myocardial infarction and cerebral infarction. In fact, this situation has become more common since the outbreak. People like this are usually in good health, have no underlying diseases, and are strong and healthy. The people we have come into contact with do not have any strenuous jobs, and they were all employees of government agencies and public institutions. Zhang Liang said that young and middle-aged people died without warning. Generally, patients with heart problems die very quickly. We receive many such patients. For example, this person felt uncomfortable in the hospital lobby and went to the emergency room but died within a few minutes because her heart problems are difficult to control. Because China's population base is relatively large, even if tens of thousands of people die in a city every year, it will not attract much attention. A mortality data for different age groups in China shows that the mortality rates for those born in the 1980s and 90s are 5.2% and 3% respectively. Let's take a look at the current situation of China's largest hospitals. Many people might think that the largest hospital in China should be in Shanghai or Beijing, but in fact it's in Zhengzhou City. The first affiliated hospital of Zhengzhou University is not only the largest hospital in China, but also claims to be the largest hospital in Asia. From the three data below, we can see why it's called the largest. Its daily turnover exceeds 8.26 million, has more than 10,000 beds, and receives more than 40,000 patients daily. Even such a super large hospital is now overcrowded. You will find that some people give everything just to stay alive. If you feel that life is hard and tiring, come to the hospital. Only in the hospital can you experience the sufferings of the world, feel the cruelty of reality, the warmth and coldness of society, and the impermanence of the world. You will find that living a healthy life is more important than anything else. May there be no suffering in the world and everyone be happy. One blogger took her daughter to the hospital for treatment. She recently posted a video and wrote, "The hospital is full of human suffering, the ward is full of tears and sadness, and the bill is full of helplessness and panic. Our local hospital obviously has a lot more patients than before. I spent all my time waiting in line and my ears were buzzing. I felt like I couldn't hear anything. Facing such an environment for a long time and feeling sorry for my baby, I can only try to adjust my mentality and face it with strength. Another blogger from Wenzhou City, Zhejiang Province, recently took his mother to the hospital for medical treatment. The video he posted showed that at 12 o'clock in the middle of the night, there were still many people queuing for emergency treatment. He wrote, "There are 20 people waiting in line in the emergency department, but only one doctor was treating them. The hospital needs to check the situation and deal with it in an urgent way." Mr. Wang, a Beijing resident, told overseas Chinese media, "I attended a funeral a while ago at the Daxing funeral home. I asked the staff how many people are cremated a day. They said that there are basically 4 furnaces running and the number of bodies is always around 30. Mr. Liu from Anshan City, Liaoning Province, said that the local crematorium was overcrowded with mourners coming in an endless stream, and there was no room for parking in the large parking lot. A netizen from Qingdao City, Shandong Province, said that the crematorium worked overtime during the Chinese New Year. She went there to hold her mother's 100th day funeral, but there were so many people that she couldn't even squeeze through. Mainland media professional Zhang Zheming said that the phenomena of cremation queues, which appeared in many places during the 3 years of the pandemic, has reappeared from the end of last year to now. He mentioned cremation fees have risen dramatically. Now, many provinces have turned a blind eye to burials, which the government forbids because the pandemic is so severe that they cannot hold enough bodies. He said, "I got a message that all statistics of domestic funeral homes and crematoriums are not allowed to be disclosed. Otherwise, the official will be vetoed. If it's an employee, he will be fired, and if it's a leader, he will be dismissed on the spot. Now, this strict order has been issued, and the number of cremated bodies must be kept strictly confidential." There's a traffic jam at the funeral home. It's full of cars and you can't get through. They're all for coffining. In recent years, experts from well-known universities in mainland China, senior administrative officials, corporate executives, young and middle-aged police officers, etc. have died in large numbers, many of whom were officially promoted as outstanding party members. In August 2023, Master Li Hongzhi, the founder of Falun Gong, pointed out that the new coronavirus pandemic is mainly aimed at the Communist Party and those who blindly follow the party, defend the party, and work for the party. Many people have died so far, including many young people. Master Li also said that the CCP has been covering up the epidemic, which has killed 400 million people in China, and 500 million people will die in China by the end of this wave of the pandemic. According to media reports, a large number of people who withdrew from the CCP's related organizations, namely the Communist Party, the Communist Youth League, and the Young Pioneers, have successfully avoided the plague or defeated the virus. There are many such examples. The head of the Global Quitting the Party Center suggested that Chinese compatriots who are unable to declare their withdrawal from the party or the team online can post their withdrawal statements in public places or write them on banknotes and spend them, which is equally effective. Hospitals across China are packed with people, while once bustling places like shopping malls and streets are now dwindling in number, even in first-tier cities like Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, and Shenzhen. I am at the World Financial Center on Shanghai Road, and there was no one on the entire street at noon. What about white-collar workers? Where are the office ladies? These are all the headquarters of major banks, as well as various securities and financial center buildings. There should be a lot of white collars here. Where have all the people gone? After walking around for a long time, I couldn't even find a restaurant or food court, and I couldn't find a place to eat. Is this still the big Shanghai that generates 700 billion in annual GDP? How strange. Where are the people? There are not as many people as in my hometown. It's such a big supermarket, but there is not a single person in sight. Where have all the people gone? Hello everyone, I am Ah Ming from Guangdong. I am currently in a supermarket in Tianhe District, Guangzhou City. This supermarket used to be very famous in our community. I still remember that during the Chinese New Year and other holidays, this supermarket has always crowded with people, and people's flow was huge. But now, from what I saw also shown in this video, it can be seen that some businesses have gone bankrupt. Some have transferred their stores, and there is really complete silence, not a single person in sight. In fact, just 3 years ago, before the pandemic came, the business of the supermarket was really booming, and it even opened several small branches. But now, probably due to the pandemic and changes in people's consumption habits, other branches of the supermarket have begun to go bankrupt and close. Now there is only this big supermarket left here, and it probably won't last long because you can see there is no traffic here at all. Its rent must not be cheap because it's very big, with 4 floors in total, and each floor covering several thousand square meters.
每一层啊都有几千个平方。
给你们看一下大上海。
Let me show you the current situation of the real sector economy in Shanghai. Sisters, this is Chichihar Road in Shanghai. Finding a shop there used to be hard, but now no one is interested in this location. The entire market is full of popular shops for sale, and no rent is required. New owners just need to come in and pay the property management fee, but still no one wants to take them over. The occupancy rate of the entire market does not exceed 10%. Our live stream studio is on the 2nd floor. I rent a large venue for only $27.50 a year, covering 100 square meters, so how can the physical stores be maintained now? Look, it's clean and sparsely populated. Although some businesses are in this market and a few stores are open, there are still no customers. The real economy has been like this. What is the reason? We don't understand either. We are busy every day, and every day we feel like we are doing business, just like riding a roller coaster, sometimes good and sometimes bad. Look at the situation. There's no one anywhere.
时好时坏的，你看看这情况，哪里都没人。
The most terrifying thing in Beijing right now is not the falling house prices, but the fact that they cannot be rented out at all. Can't rent out an apartment in Beijing. In our community, previously a 2-bedroom apartment cost $830 a month. The previous tenant's lease hasn't expired yet, but the next contract has already been signed. The seamless connection. Yes, there were no empty apartments in the past. Now, I can see that many property owners in our community can no longer rely on agents. The landlords rent out properties by themselves. Yes, they do in that way. Does it work? Not really. I saw one landlord offered $830 a month last year, but this year he reduced the rental fee to $700, and it's still not rented out. It doesn't work even if the landlords lower the price. Yes, where do all the people in Beijing go now? I guess tenants left Beijing because of the pressure of life. The most outrageous thing is the office buildings. The vacancy rate of office buildings in Beijing is now at least over 50%. Unbelievable? If you visit the office building now, you will see that the first floor is sparsely populated with only a few people working there. The rent for a 100 square meter office is only $1,400. Beijing's rental market is completely collapsed. It's extremely difficult to rent out a property. As a landlord, I have never felt so humble. The attitudes of the tenants are all very arrogant. In the past, if you didn't like a tenant, you could ask him to move out, but now if he's unhappy, he won't renew the lease, and it'll be difficult for you to find another tenant, so you can only coax him or beg him. I have a condo to rent out. The same type in the community could be rented for $2,300 in 2023, but last year it could only be rented for $2,100. I wanted to rent out the whole condo for $1,800 but failed, and I have to sublet it. There is one bedroom that has not been rented out yet and has been empty for 5 months. I want to rent it out for $400, but the tenant gives you an ultimatum saying his budget is only $340. He said, "I'll go and see if you are okay, or else let's not waste our time." What's more, the tenants who have already moved in are particularly annoying and negotiate with you every day to lower the rent, otherwise they will not renew their lease. Can you imagine? In Changying, Chaoyang District, Beijing, can you imagine that an apartment like this with a private bathroom can be vacant for 2 months? Initially, no one rented the apartment and it was empty because the rent was too high, which is understandable. Now, the price has been reduced, but it seems to enter the off-season after the reduction, and still no one wants to rent it. I can't imagine an apartment like this in Changying being vacant for 2 months. You see it's spacious and beautiful in every aspect. The shopping center is just downstairs, not to mention the surrounding facilities. Look at the sunlight and the elevator. The high-rise residents have separate elevators and floor heating. Add to that the sunlight and the space feels a little hot. That's all for today. If you enjoy our content, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with a friend. We appreciate your support, and we'll see you next time.